today's topic. And so somebody we know, a man, brought up a thing. He said, sometimes I meet women who are older and they've been very promiscuous, and it bothers me because I hate the idea of walking into a room and she may have slept with some of the other dudes in the room or whatever.
And I said, to be fair, you the hoe. Isn't that what I said?
That's what you said. And to be fair,
he a it's okay.
It is what it is.
And hold on, before we go on in this, we have to establish a certain rule, okay? Because then we go out and we say the word hoe like that, and to your definition, it might be super bad. For me, being a hoe or being in a hoe phase, it's a thing. It's not good. It's not bad. Yes, there are costs, there are consequences, but it's a thing. I don't frown upon you. I don't care about that. I don't care about if a girl slept with a whole lot of men, whatever, whatnot. To me, and I was saying that to the same dude. I was like, listen, if you wanna, you're gonna need girls that do it too. You wanna do it, you're gonna need girls that do it.
Yeah.
So yeah. Let's just put that in perspective. But go ahead.
I'm entitled to agree. At the end of the day, it's not something to shame people. It's just a fact. He is what he is. You know what I'm saying? Can't look at her sideways when you've done just as much dirt.
You go, and then the
audacity. What? Yeah.
The audacity,
bro. I know you.
You gonna look at a girl and you're gonna be like, oh.
I've been in nightclubs with you, and half the girls you did.
You're gonna have the audacity.
I danced with a girl. And I'm like, yo, she got that special sauce you gave her. You feel me? You got it is. It is what it is. It is what it is. I can't do nothing about that. But the main thing is he felt like it's different when a guy does it, because if a lot of women doesn't have the thing.
I'm a key. And she a lock.
Yeah.
You want a key that opens all the lock. You don't want a lock that gets opened by all the keys. No, she's a human being and you're a human being, and we have needs. A key don't have need. A lock don't have need. It's more complicated than that.
And just because a metaphor sounds good, doesn't mean that it rings true. Okay. So that's why I always find it funny when dudes go out and do their dirt and then look at women who do their dirt as if they're better. I'm like, bro, you've soiled yourself as well.
The motherfuckers that be in the strip club and be like, yo, look at that stripper. I'm like, nigga, you in the strip club with her. If she going to hell, you going to hell. What you talking about?
Yeah, it's crazy, man.
It's hypocritical. It's crazy. To me, it's a bit,
But it raised a good question, right? It raised the question of, well, what is the price to pay for male promiscuity? Because we see it a lot of times. We glorify it. We think it's awesome. And I say, there is a cost.
There's a cost.
There's a cost. It's not just women who pay with their social reputation or whatever. Even men pay with their social reputation.
Definitely.
Get around enough, you're going to pay. You're going to pay at some point.
Eventually.
People talk.
Mm-hmm.
It is what it is, right? And if it's not that, and you can actually see it right now, even with celebrities who want to play willy-nilly, a lot of them have had to pay. Does that not lie?
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Ask Kevin. Hey, what's up, Kev?
Right? But moving even beyond the promiscuity thing, right? There's also a cost in terms of, this is a weird one. You are indulging because you lack. The reason why you are gluttonous is because you lack discipline.
Pinor.
It's not because something feels good that it is good. Right?
Say that again.
Right? It's not because you can play that you should play. It's not because there's value in something that you should value. You know what I'm saying? Okay.
Spit it.
I think, especially for men, there has to be an honest discussion. You do it because of ego, right? That whole idea of I'm trying to do everything. I get it. I know because I've done it. It's ego. If we're being very honest with ourselves. And while you get to inflate your ego and do all this stuff and go everywhere and be in everybody, it doesn't mean that you're doing something healthy for yourself. And as you spend time, you start to realize what you're giving away and what it's costing you, right? Whether it's your time, whether it's your energy, whether it's your emotional, physical sanctity, if you believe in that kind of stuff, there's a price to pay. Any indulgence in this world, you're going to pay a price. And I think especially with things like bedroom stuff, that price can be very steep. Very steep.
Mentally, you mean?
Physically too. If you catch the wrong thing,
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Every time you go in, you roll some dices.
It can be taxing.
You roll some dices.
It can be taxing.
Right? So there's that cost. And, you know, that's something that I had to reckon with a couple years back, where I started to ask myself like a lot of questions in regards to like, why am I doing this? Where is this coming from? What does it cost me? Because it doesn't feel great. You know? That high.
It doesn't feel...
Because it's an addict's high. It's an addict's high.
Yeah.
It's an addict's high. The dopamines you get when you go up to a girl and you chat game and she's down feels amazing, and you brag to your people. You right, all that stuff that people do.
And is the after that you feel bad about it?
It could be right after you bust. It could be the day after.
Every time we bust, we feel content or bad about some shit.
There's levels.
Yes, there's level to this.
There's levels.
Definitely.
I think once you kind of realize that about yourself, you have to start tempering yourself. And I think you're inherently trapped by your desires. You are. You know, I still have little lapses here and there. I'm like, and I have to kind of try to bring myself back, because it's a constant fight. Because
you mean not being able to say no?
It's hard. It can be hard sometimes.
Yeah.
Definitely. When it's been your crutch for so long to feel slightly better about yourself, it's hard to just walk away from that and then be like, I'm good now.
Yeah.
And so that's something that I've had to learn. And if there's any advice I give to young people, listen, it's hard for me to sit on this side of the fence and be like, man, you don't need to go through all that and touch all those people and do all that stuff to get here and feel good. Because when you see it everywhere on television and it's so glamorized, the ladies' man and all that stuff, then you want to go through that experience. And part of it is also true that it is a good skill to be able to talk to women, to feel comfortable and to do all that stuff. It's not a inherently bad thing, but that overindulgence and that kind of gluttonous behavior that we sometimes have towards intercourse and just being with women, that is very toxic. Whether it's a woman or a man, it's bad. So it's hard for me to tell young folks to like maybe not try to dive into that, but I still leave you guys this message so that maybe one day, if you're sitting there and you're going through and you're like, why? Maybe you remember this. I've told this to a couple of my people before. And like, and then they started like, man, you were right. And I'm like, I know, because I did what you did. And then some. So it's hard. It's hard because every day we get fed this. Every day we get told, if you want to be happy, get women. If you want to be happy, get their affection. What we don't get told much about is discipline. What we don't get told much about is how it's a sense of freedom to be able to control yourself. We don't get taught these lessons. And so when you're trying to move through life and to feel good about yourself, you just don't have much to fall back on.
To me, it's really, it could be good. It could make you feel good. It can help you actually to be on that side. It can. But then again, you have to understand why you're doing things, and you have to understand the dangers of doing certain things. Like drugs. You know, whenever you grow up, they always tell you drugs are bad, drugs are bad, drugs are bad, drugs are bad. Okay, why does it look so fun? Because there's that fun side to it. But like Abba said, it's not everything that feels good that it is. I'm not saying that all drugs are the same or whatever, whatnot. That's a different discussion or anything. But raising kids, I'm not only going to tell them that drugs are bad, drugs are bad. There's that. But you're taxing yourself. There's a cost to that. There's a cost whenever you indulge into that. But also what I have on my side is really what I understand is really just the image that people have of what it is to be promiscuous. Especially guys in that side. When you call out someone, it's like, it's whack. It's a bit hypocritical. If you want to do these extracurricular activities, you need people to play. You want to be on the volleyball team? You need other teammates. You can't just smash balls. Well, whoa, wait. You can't just do smashes like that alone. You can, but it's not a game, right? My father always told me, Eric, n'oublie jamais ceci. Quand tu pointes quelqu'un ou quelque chose, rappelle-toi qu'il y a toujours trois doigts qui pointent vers toi. Means whenever you point somewhere, there's always three fingers that are pointing at you. So you like that's my dad. He's a white man. So you like doing extracurricular activities, you're gonna need players. Shaming is, to me, it's not the thing, but whatever.
I think it's even harder than that because you say like people be like it's taboo, but really in reality, people encourage their sons and to do a lot.
but they restrict their daughters.
They restrict their daughters, but they encourage their sons, even though it's super negative for us as well. But I just want people to know, like, it's not just women who pay a price for that kind of, you know, you're paying a price.
Absolutely.
It's an indication of a lack of self-respect. To think like you're just going to indulge because you have an urge, knowing that very well that you're putting your health at risk every single time just because you have a feeling, you know, just because you have like a little urge, you don't think there's a lack of self-respect there for your own physical well-being? It's hard for me to reconcile the two things. You know what it reminds me of? It's like when you're young and you can eat anything. Cheeseburgers, you stuff it all down. And then later on, what happens?
When 30 happens, your metabolism is not as fast as it used to be,
right?
And then you pack up some weight. There's a cost to that.
Right.
There's a cost, but then again, you didn't learn that discipline when you were a kid.
Yep.
It's gonna be harder when you're gonna be older.
Yep.
You know, most people that I know, they got it scared. You know, that's why they into fitness now and everything and stuff. But yeah, when they was kid, they were indulging in all kind of things. Whether it was drugs, whether it was food, whether it was everything. You know what I mean?
Yep. But yeah, you know, and I'm fortunate that my price to pay was more so just on the inside and stuff I got to deal with. But for other people, it's lifelong stuff. For some people, it's kids out of wedlock with women that they don't respect and don't want to be with. So they breed bad families. For other people, it's situations where this person is now part of their life because of the fact that they got slept with. Like, there's crazy stuff that happens. People have had their careers ruined. They've ruined other people's careers. It's crazy. So
toxicity from generation to generation.
Bro, even death. I know dudes are like, I love married women. You're going to risk your life because you got an urge? Yeah. Where's the self-respect? Where's the discipline? I'm not saying that having a life in the bedroom with people is necessarily bad. Understand why you're doing it. Understand, can you discipline yourself?
Yeah.
Do you really have that ability? If you don't, then you got a problem. You got a problem. And it's hard to acknowledge that, but it is. And what grown men will tell you that have gone through it and who have stopped, they'll tell you, man, yeah, a lot of it was not good. That's just my advice to y'all, and just like my thoughts on the topic. That's what you guys think. Yo quiero mi morena, tan rico que se ve, morena, mira como mueve, así, morena, mira como goza.